Hi guys, welcome back. This week we're talking to the fantastic Kate Reynolds. I'm going to pass you over to Kate and let her explain what she does because she'll be a lot more clearer than I'll be. So, hi Kate, thank you for joining me.
Hi, thanks Katie. Hi everybody. Thanks for having me. So yes, guys, I'm a relocation coach. And what I do is I help ladies that are planning a move, maybe to a different city or a country, and I help them re-establish themselves, reinvent themselves when you've been ripped out of your comfort zone and plunked in a totally new place. So I primarily help with, building a network, getting a new routine in place, career options, all of those sorts of things when you're totally new to a new area. So I'm a bit of a hand holder.
Excellent.
So that's what I do. Yeah, and
That's
I'm currently
a good description.
yeah. So I'm currently actually living in South Australia. So I'm in Adelaide at the moment. I've been here for 2 years. I live with my husband Steve, and I've got a little boy called Dylan who's 15 months now.
Wow.
So yeah, currently living overseas myself, and I've made so many moves I've lost count. So yeah, so that's me.
Where are you from initially? I can't remember what you said.
Yeah, I'm from Hull.
Okay.
I'm from Hull in Yorkshire, yeah. Still got my Yorkshire accent. I've not lived there since I was 17. It just doesn't left. No, it has not left. Yeah. Wow. So when I speak to my family, it all comes out my Yorkshire accent even more.
I bet, yeah. And you get faster as well. I don't know about you, but when I'm around my Welsh kind of family and friends, I just, really high pitched and really, really fast. No one else can understand me. So I always have to consciously kind of slow myself down. So tell us about you and how you come to leave Hull at 17 and how you ended up in Australia years later.
Yeah. There is unfortunately a lot of years between that. I'm getting on. Yeah, I actually left at 18 and started university doing travel. So I've always actually had the travel bug from a young age, and started my degree. 6 months in, realised it was not for me. I think it was one of those natural steps from school to go to college, to go to uni, and I just sort of followed the crowd.
Yeah.
And I actually left and started flying as cabin crew. So I just decided to leave my degree, if you like, and go flying. So I went flying for 5 years, saw some of the world, loved it, absolutely loved flying as cabin crew. It was a brilliant job. And then started working behind the scenes in operations, so more the planning side, logistics side of the airlines. And that was a good few years doing that. And then I got offered a job in Qatar. So I moved to the Middle East, single female, moved up, packed up my life and went over there. And I think that's when the first business idea actually came from, because it was just such a culture shock for me. And even though I wanted it to work, I didn't have anyone impartial. Your family, we'll just say, get back on the plane and come home. But I really wanted it to work. So for me, I was like, I wish I'd have had somebody to turn to. And that's when the first idea came of my job, really, my business idea, to help others that were really in the same sort of shoes that I was feeling. You're literally surrounded by yourself and you don't know which way to go. You're dealing with different cultures, different pace of life. Having to make friends again as adults is not easy.
No.
It's really not. We're not like kids in the school playground anymore.
No, exactly.
So I found that really tough. And I think that experience, 5 years in Qatar, I did 5 years there.
Wow.
Really gave me good international experience. And then me and my husband, we got married at that point, and then his job brought him to Australia. So then I came as an accompanying spouse here. And for me, it was no more talking about the business idea. It was, I'm going to do it.
Yeah.
No more talking. That was it. I'm going for it. Because I've got another experience then as well. That's even harder actually coming when you've been working all of your life and then you come for somebody else's career. That's a very difficult transition to do. And again, it gave me that added experience to put to my already international experience.
Definitely. So how long have you been in Australia now?
2 years. Fantastic. 2 years now, just coming up.
You did say that,
Flown by.
Do you like it there? Are you enjoying it?
Yes, it's been a great experience. I actually got pregnant the first weekend.
Wow.
I have to say it wasn't quite planned that way. So then I had a really difficult pregnancy as well, and living overseas. I was like, oof, that's
difficult without any support around. I know I suppose you'd managed to a certain extent without that support of family being on your doorstep anyway, hadn't you? So you'd been quite independent in that sense. anyway.
Yeah.
But being the other side of the world, away from everything, must be quite difficult.
Completely, totally. And I think the more I've spoke to my clients, different clients, even moving across Australia, I didn't realize this to start with, but it's such a big shock because all of the different states are all different in themselves. So for me, that's why I've tried to help not people just moving countries, but cities.
That's a good point, actually. Yeah. They can all be so, I think everyone just presumes Australia is like not as big as it is and not as vast as it is, and then it's all just Australia, whereas like you said, the states are all quite different, aren't they?
Yeah, completely. Even like the UK, we know that the north and south are very much different places to live and different cultural environments and things. So it's even made me think when I've spoke to people from the UK, it's so different.
Yeah, very true. Very true. So what do you like most about working for yourself?
I'd have to say the flexibility. I mean, it's got its challenges, which I'm sure we'll talk about. But for me, it's knowing that I can manage my day around my son.
Yeah.
Because at the end of the day, I don't have grandma and granddad down the road. So, your friends become your family in a way. Once you've started building them rapport, but you can't put your son on them to say, can you babysit or anything like that. So for me, it's just knowing that I can manage my time around him and be as flexible as I can. And the other thing is you're building your business for you and your family. Yeah. Whereas I've always felt all of my life, I've always given so much. I'm such a giving person. I feel like every business I've worked for, I've always provided more than I should have done in a way. Does that make sense? And when it's your own business, you're doing it for your own personal achievement and for your family's achievement. So I think that's another reason why I love it so much.
Yeah, I like to feel kind of proud that I'm building my business. And I know I didn't really think my children noticed much about it, but quite recently my 10-year-old said, he wrote me a note and he said, my mum's the best, blah, blah, blah. And she works so hard and she does that for her family. And I thought, God, it does sink in. And he'd said he was really proud of me. And I hadn't really realised it was even on his radar, but it had been sinking in. And to hear that he was proud of, the way I worked. And he'd mentioned something about it was nice that I was home to go to all their concerts and things for school. And it's really nice to know that they do appreciate the fact that even though it's hard being self-employed, you're doing it for the family unit, a lot of it. And the benefits as well he could see, because he realised some parents can't make all the concerts and school activities and they aren't in the playground every morning, every afternoon. So it's nice when they start to realise that as well for you.
Completely.
Yeah, definitely. So you mentioned about the challenges. So what do you find the most challenging?
Time management.
Yep.
I have to say, I think it's really difficult when you know that you want to do things and you're really driven, because I'm a very driven person, but then you've got other things that need your commitment. You're a housewife, you've got cooking to do, cleaning to do, all of these other tasks that need doing.
Yep.
But your business is like, oh my gosh, I should be putting that post on Facebook right now, or I should be doing this, but you've got a screaming toddler next to you.
Yep.
So that's really hard. Time management.
I was going to say, in all honesty, your son is very young still, so it's even harder to be able to do things, I think, around him. I don't know if I'm crazy. If I weren't in school.
I know, it's really bad and it is really difficult, but I wanted to do it. I love a challenge, and I'm totally nuts, but I did really want to do it. And then the worst thing I've found is comparing yourself to others is really difficult, because my business maybe will take a little bit longer because I can't dedicate loads of time to it. Yeah. However, one thing I've realised is I want this business 100% to succeed. And that's all about the timing that you can put in around late nights. You've got to do it. It's hard work a little bit along the line. You've got to get out there, haven't you?
Definitely. I think, the cliche one's doing something every day towards, that goal. It's true, isn't it? No matter how long it takes, as long as you're doing something every day, you feel that you're, getting closer to those goals, and you're working for your business. So it all kind of makes you feel a bit better in that sense as well. You're actually doing something.
Especially when you're coaching.
Definitely.
When I'm coaching and giving value, I could do that all day long.
Yeah.
I could outsource all the rest. I just want to deal with people that have been in similar shoes to me, if you know what I mean. So
definitely. Your passion comes through, and it's nice that, like you said, you've been in that situation. And I think for me, it's one of the most important parts of coaching. There's an awful lot of coaches around that haven't actually experienced certain things. And then I think, how can you advise on that? It's very difficult to do. So a few people said to me about coaching or mentoring, because I've had lots of businesses, and it took me ages to get my head around the idea that I had the experience and the skills that I could offer something. And with you, you've been there and done it more than once. And then you got pregnant in the mix as well, which is another huge life experience on top of the fact that you're just in a new country completely. Without that network around you. So the fact you've been there and done it numerous times is fantastic, because that means so much more to people than just, they're not having that personal experience. You can share that with them. So definitely, what was I going to ask you? What tools or systems or websites or apps or anything do you swear by? Do you use constantly? What are your go-to?
Yeah, I would have to say my Gmail business email. I mean, I love it. I'm always on there. And it's the first thing that I'm really glad I set up to do, is have my business email. I think that that's a really good starting point to just get that differentiation between your personal and your business. Definitely. So that was a big one. Then the other thing I love is my Wave accounting tool. Now, this is actually just... I thought you're just going to laugh at me when I say this, but no, I just think it's really good, and it's really simple to use and really effective. So that would be my second. And my third would be Skype and Zoom, because for me, I want to coach virtually to clients worldwide. And this, technology, what we're doing today, for me, is just massive. I feel like I'm sat next to you. Do you know what I mean? It's brilliant.
And there's no delay or anything, it's just, you get the odd bad connection, but on the whole, they're pretty reliable, aren't they? Again, I completely agree, to be honest. Gmail, I'm a big fan of. Wave, I don't know what I did with before it. I love how professional and branded you can make the invoices look. And the free version does everything you need it to do. It certainly does for me anyway. So it's always one of my top recommended websites or tools as well. And Skype and Zoom, like you. Couldn't manage without it. I do use Facebook Messenger as well. But especially if you want to record, Zoom, it's fantastic. We're using Zoom now, clearly. I couldn't manage without that either. So completely agree with those. And how do you keep yourself motivated? You seem quite, a bubbly, high vibe character anyway, chatting with you even before this call. So how do you keep yourself motivated when you're maybe having a bit of a down day?
Yeah, I would say, as you said, I am quite driven naturally. And I actually just have written down my why. So why do I want this business to work? It's actually pinned right up there. And just when you're you do have tough days. You have tough days of business and tough days living away from home as well. So I just try to, if I'm feeling a bit overwhelmed, I just get an A3 sheet and a pen, and I brainstorm, have a brain dump, literally. Just everything that's going on upstairs, all the hamsters running around in your brain. I just really write things down. I've sometimes journal as well. That actually really inspires me as well. I've started doing that only in the last few months, and it's amazing.
Again,
I really didn't think it was, but it is.
It's amazing. I mean, I've obviously been familiar with the concept, but never ever done it until probably maybe the last 8 months for me. And it's really powerful, isn't it? You start writing. People say, sometimes, if I'm not in the mood, I know I'm just a one answer, to a question. But if I really kind of focus, it's surprising how much comes out. And then that's out of my head. So it's fantastic.
Yeah. The other thing I would say is I'm really a podcast lover. I have to say that. The really inspirational stories, especially something around my field, like, about relocating or anything like that. I'm really passionate about listening to that, and other female entrepreneurs that have made it in business. It really does help.
I love reading, listening, anything inspirational for me just works, isn't it? I think we've got so many more resources now available at our fingertips, to go and get a quick pick-me-up if we are feeling low. And we spoke about this in previous chats with women, with YouTube and so forth. I read constantly. There's always something I think you can kind of go to now, and it's learning what works for you and the tools that work for you to pick yourself up. If for you that's getting out and going for a 20-minute walk, or just taking a break and having a cup of tea, or watching a video, or listening to a podcast, whatever that may be. I think there's so much more at our fingertips we can go to. Once you've learned what works for you, then you have that in your own toolbox to go and do when you're having a low day. And if you need an hour off, take an hour off. I know we're saying that ideally, but sometimes you do need to. You do. You can't just carry on.
You actually get things done as well.
You're more efficient when you've done that, I think, without a doubt. So what podcast would you recommend we listen to? Because I've got a resource on my website where I add on podcasts, so I could do with a few more.
I do. I really like The Lady Posse by Tash Corbin. So she's actually really good.
I know Tash Corbin, yeah. Don't know her,
yeah, so I really love that one on The Lady Posse. Yep. She's great. I like Carrie Green.
Yep.
And there's another one as well. I can't quite remember her name. I'll have to get back to you on that one. But there is.
I'll add it to the courses, definitely.
Yeah, but really good. And I'm actually a massive walker. I do a lot of walking. Yeah. I think it's brilliant because you can just walk and listen, and an hour can be done of a podcast. Yeah. The little boy's in his pram and he's happy as Larry.
Exactly. So. Win-win for everybody.
Completely.
Have you got any, I don't know, words for wisdom, I guess, or advice for somebody who is just starting out in business or about to take that plunge? What would you say?
Couple of things. First of all, I'd probably say that you need to remember your patience. Now, what I've learned in this business journey that I've been on for just a year or so now, that things don't happen overnight. Mm-hmm. They really don't. And, you know, I think those women sometimes want everything yesterday.
Yeah.
You just got to know that it is really, business is an experiment. It's things work, things don't work. And you've just got to start somewhere.
Yeah.
The other thing I would really say is market research. I didn't value that to start with. Mm-hmm. I thought I knew everything. I'll say that because I did. But the more you speak and the more you do your avatar interviews and things like this, you learn so much more. That's made me better on this business journey, is really getting that research stuck in.
Definitely.
So that's an important one.
It is, actually. You're right.
And surrounding yourself by like-minded business women as well.
It's huge, isn't it?
Yeah, impartial support that's not and I don't want to sound wrong, but not your family or your friends that have got their personal viewpoints, but others that are on the similar business journey to you at the same sort of level, so you can really bounce that ideas off as well. I think that's really useful.
Yeah, definitely. I've got a business bestie, and we speak always about random things. But it is so, it's so helpful having that person there, and they can ground you sometimes as well. If you're like, nightmare day and this is happening, they're like, right, okay, let's put this into perspective. It's fine.
Yeah.
So yeah, definitely makes a massive difference. Is there anything else that you wanted to add that I haven't asked you, or that you just want to get clear and tell somebody about you, your life, your journey?
I just wanted to say there was one quote that I really follow, and it's quit talking, start doing by Walt Disney. Because I think sometimes you've got to take that imperfect action. Definitely. Because we always want everything to be perfect, our videos to be perfect, this to be perfect. And like I've just said, business is all about just getting out there, and some things will work, some things will don't. And I know for myself, I've always been quite nervous, even though I'm quite bubbly. You do have a fear of failure. We all do a little bit.
I've got huge. Mine is nightmare. That's my biggest fear. I'm nightmare.
So I just think for the ladies that are listening to this, it's just so important to just, we're
all
been in those shoes.
Definitely. And it doesn't get easier, does it? It's just you might get over the fear of failure of that thing, but then, it's on to the next thing, isn't it? At the end of the day, the first time, even just going to my first networking meeting in a fair few years with this business, it was horrible. I hated walking in there. And I purposely went to a woman only networking event because, again, for me that just sat better, and I was really nervous. And then a couple of months later they said, will you do a talk? And I was like, no, but yeah, okay, I will. Again, and just in the space of a year, from pushing myself with these various different things, it's amazing what actually I've overcome when I look back and think, well, a year ago I wouldn't have been able to do that. And I speak to loads of women now every week. I don't watch myself on these videos ever because I think I'll start picking holes. So I never watch these back. I just put them on and just go with it because they're supposed to be real. They're supposed to be raw. Yeah. I don't want perfection. Like you said, done is better than perfect. I'm not interested in being perfect here. It's just a chat with us, and trying to share our stories, our inspiration, anything we can to inspire any other women that are starting off or in business themselves, and showing that we're all the same. We all get the same fears and issues, but hopefully sharing a few tips to help other women out as well. So it's the main aim. So
exactly. It's brilliant.
Exactly. It's all what it's all about. So where can we find you, Kate?
Yeah. So you can find me on my website, which is www.katereynolds.com.
Okay.
That's my main website. And my Facebook page is obviously facebook.com and it's /Kate Reynolds Coaching all together.
Awesome. Fantastic. I'll put the links on as well when I put the video on.
That would be great.
Thank you so much for joining me today. It's been fantastic to chat to you.
Yes, you too. And thanks for all the listeners. Thank you so much. It's been great.
Care.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye.